is there a feeling, you've said along this process that the governor has tried to demonize state employees. Has he sort of got the leg up on this PR battle? Is that what you're trying to combat today? You're trying to level the playing field in that regard as far as message?
Rod, this governor has been demonizing state workers since before he was elected governor. He campaigned on going after state workers' pay and benefits. I believe we have been very vocal about that process. The reason I'm doing 5, 6 press conferences across the state is because, unfortunately, when I speak in Des Moines, it doesn't always get up to Mason City, or it doesn't get over to Davenport, and doesn't get to Cedar Rapids. So I have 5 other negotiating committee members out doing the same press conference like this today. So that's what we're trying to do, make sure that we're getting our message out that we are not the enemy. Okay? We didn't, it's just unfair for him to continue to go after state workers, with his attacks of trying to take something away from them. It's not fair. While he's handing out goodies to his management people.
If there's a 4% across the board pay raise on that end, do you feel like maybe you lowballed your position coming in?
No. This union made a fair and reasonable proposal. I will point out, we offered this governor half of what we offered Governor Culver 2 years ago. We recognize the situation the state is in, and again, it's an effort that we don't want our health insurance touched. So we said we'll take less money, leave our health insurance alone. At the time we made that proposal, we were unaware of that health insurance rates would go down in this state almost 7%. But we're living by our proposal. Our initial proposal is our initial proposal. We gave a fair and reasonable proposal to the state and to the citizens of this state for the services that my members perform.
Danny, I know you can't predict the future, but do you see Iowa headed down a similar path as Wisconsin? Are you feeling that we could be headed that same direction?
Well, to be very candid, I don't believe we're headed down that path for 2 years, because Senator Branstad in the Senate doesn't want what happened in Wisconsin. What happened in Wisconsin is a crime. It was a total attack on hardworking Wisconsin folks that do the same stuff that our members do here. So I don't believe it's going to happen for 2 years. And if it does happen, shame on the folks that let it happen. People ought to have the right to sit down at the table and have a discussion with their boss about the terms and conditions of their employment. Pure and simple. So if it does happen someday, shame on this state for letting it happen. But I don't believe it's going to happen for 2 years. And I'm going to work very hard to make sure that it never happens, as long as I sit in the office that I sit in.
Can you just kind of explain the schedule and the time frame for the negotiations here? What is scheduled and what's the deadlines for?
We will enter bargaining. We start bargaining with the state tomorrow. Those are closed session negotiations. We're scheduled to bargain the month of January, every Saturday and Sunday. If we need to go to arbitration, because we have to schedule that beforehand, we are scheduled to go to arbitration sometime during the week of February 11th. The arbitrator has to issue a decision on or before March 1st of this year. So if it is unfortunate for us to go down that road, we will have a decision no later than March 1st of this year.
Have many previous contracts ended up in arbitration?
No, 2. We arbitrated in 1991 against Terry Branstad. And in that arbitration, we won the wage issue, and he won the health insurance issue. And we arbitrated once against Governor Ray.
When was that?
Oh, a long time ago.
So twice.
Probably, if I'm gonna guess, it would have been in the 70s. The collective bargain, we started bargaining in 1977. So I believe it was either, I believe it was 81 or 83 that we took Governor Ray to arbitration. And the only issue with that arbitration was wages.
And how many members are you bargaining on behalf of?
20,000. Actually, it's a couple hundred less than that. I checked the numbers just before I came out, but I don't have them today.
Have your numbers diminished much in the last few years?
Yes. This governor has bragged about eliminating 791 jobs. I believe state employment is in an all-time low as far as the number of employees. I can tell you that our institutions, both on the prison side and the DHS side, are grossly understaffed. And that's because this governor is not hiring or not allowing to hire employees to replace those employees that have either quit or retired.
Danny, you know, I remember when we had Governor Vilsack and Governor Culver as our governors, and I don't ever remember them demonizing state or public workers. And it seemed like they were always fair in their negotiations, and we were able to reach voluntary negotiations with them. What do you think has changed, or what's different between those two guys and the current governor that we have?
Well, I think you'd really have to ask him. I will give you my opinion for what it's worth. I think Terry Branstad has a severe dislike for this organization and for public employees as a whole because of our history with him. We took him to arbitration in 1991, and we ended up having to take him to court and to the Supreme Court because he refused to honor the final and binding award of the arbitrator, and he basically forced us to go to the Supreme Court. And quite frankly, a year and a half ago, this organization, I guess myself and 5 legislators, sued him over the illegal closings of the IWD offices. And that ended up going to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court ruled in our favor and said that he had violated the law and in the closing of those offices. So I think this is a vendetta, that may be too strong a word, but I think this is an issue where this governor doesn't like this organization, and conversely, I don't believe he respects the work that state employees do.
If these raises are a violation of state law, are there any plans for the union or members to sue or do anything like that?
I know that I've read there are several legislators questioning whether what he has done has been a violation of the law. And I guess I will leave that up to the legislators of this state to see what they want to do. But, you know, they are clearly being paid more than what their pay grade allows them to be paid. And I can guarantee you that not anybody in my bargaining unit is paid more than what their pay grade allows them to be paid.
When does the current contract expire?
June 30th of this year.
And you'll be negotiating, what, a 4-year deal or a...
Now, by law, we can only negotiate a 2-year deal. We're required to negotiate a 2-year contract because Iowa's legislature runs on a 2-year cycle. So we have to bargain a 2-year contract that goes in effect in odd number of years.
A lot of negotiations.
I don't negotiate that many times with my own staff here in this building.
Is there something different this time? A lot of times the head of the Department of Administrative Services would be the lead negotiator for the state. This time they've hired Mr. Shearer, who first did an analysis that sort of threw into question some of the collective bargaining precepts, and it seemed like in his opening statement he wants to right what he thinks are wrongs through this bargaining process.
I believe that's a big difference. I've been an employee of this organization for 25 years as of December 1st. last year. And before that, I was a member. And always in the past, the director of the Iowa Department of Administrative Services negotiated the contract. When Tom Vilsack was elected, he decided to hire an outside firm that specialized in public sector bargaining, which was the Allers Law Firm. And Jim Hanks of the Allers Law Firm negotiated the 4 contracts when Tom Vilsack was governor, and he negotiated the 2 contracts when Jack Colbert was governor. The current individual that is representing the state has never bargained in the public sector. He is a private sector negotiator, and there are huge differences between the private sector law and the public sector law in the state of Iowa. So yeah, I believe that has created some difficulties. And quite frankly, his remarks when he presented our proposals was an insult to the hardworking state employees of this state, and that's how the majority of those folks in the room considered that. Anything else?
Do you plan to be silent for the month of January, or will we not hear from you?
You will not hear,
Rod?
if you can ask Rod. Rod and okay, I've tried to get inside information about bargaining out of me. You will never hear from me about bargaining. This press conference ain't about bargaining. We discussed processes and issues, but I will not talk in public about what goes on at the bargaining table. Once we enter that room tomorrow, the next time you'll have an opportunity for a public viewing of Iowa's collective bargaining processes. I believe the arbitration hearing is a public hearing. Okay. Thank you all very much for coming out. I appreciate your time today. Happy New Year to everybody.